to part one on how to use Google Forms to create a walkthrough form for your teachers. First of all, what I want you to do is go to my website, which is mikemcneff.blogspot.com, and from there you'll navigate to presentations. Once you get to presentations, I want you to first click on the master walkthrough form. And I want to give credit here to Rob Reynolds for creating this. I'm just going to be piggybacking off of what he's currently created and showing you hopefully an easier way of doing it, and then also to Justin Tart for giving me ideas for what to put on the form actually in itself. I'm just going to assume that you know a little bit about Google Docs. We at my school currently we have Google Apps for Education, where every teacher, every student has Google Apps. So we, without that, I think it would be difficult to set this up, but obviously possible. So I recommend that. And then, so what I want you to do first is you've got this copy of the original shared template, and what I want you to do is to first start off by making a copy. And then whatever you call it, I'm going to call this VHS walkthrough, whatever your high school is or school that you're using. And so I'm going to make a copy, and now it becomes mine. It allows me to edit it and do those things. And so the first thing what I want you to do is take a look at how you can edit the form. So you go up to form here and then go to edit form. And then this is where you create your main data form, and this is just a generic one that Rob had set up for random teachers. And so it makes it nice because you can select on that specific teacher, and then I've just created a couple things that as I went through to evaluate on or to supervise on or to give formative feedback. And obviously you can add new items, and again I'm not going to go through the how-tos of this. I'm assuming that you're fairly decent at using Google Docs, but you can add all sorts of things. You can do whatever to the form you would like, but this is what the form looks like now, just for an example. So I'm going to close out of that, and I'm going to show you how you begin this. And what I want you to do is just start making copies of these people. So I'm just going to go and duplicate, and then I'm going to change the name of this to, I don't know, let's just say Tom. Okay, so this is Tom's, and then what I'm going to do is delete all this stuff out of it, because obviously we don't need to be messing with that, and I'm not good with an Apple computer, which is what I'm using. So okay, there we go. Okay, so now I have a blank document that is Tom. Okay, and this is one of my teachers. And so what I'll do now is I need to go back to my website, and I want to click on my individual walkthrough form. And so once I do that, then I'm going to want to make a copy of this, because this is the individual teacher. This will be the copy that the teacher gets. And so I'm going to make a copy, and I'm going to call it Tom, because that's the teacher that I'm currently setting up. Let that load. And so now I'm going to go in here where it says, oops, having issues here, where it says Reynolds, and I'm going to change this name to Tom, because that is my new teacher. I don't want to clear all this stuff out of here. Okay, because that's all going to be tied to my new document. Alright, so to undo this. I'm having some technical difficulties here, so let's go undo. And what I want to do is tie in now. This is where it gets a little complicated. So I've got my individual teachers, what this person's going to get when I come in with my walkthrough form, and then now I want to go back to my VHS walkthrough, and I want to pull this key from Tom, because I'm under Tom down here, and the key is that we pull this key that's up here. So key equal sign, and then we want to pull this information all the way to the next equal sign. Okay, and we're going to control C or copy it. So I'm going to copy it, and then I want to pull it in here, And under this import range, I want to just take and I'm going to copy that same key that I just took. And so now you can see it's different. And then I also want to rename this because, again, we're just copying what Rob Reynolds had created. And I'm going to put Tom just so I know that that's where it's going to be. And so what should happen is it should now load the stuff over here from, I'm just going to close this stuff out here so it's less confusing for you. Now what will happen is when I enter stuff in for Tom on my main walkthrough sheet, which is what my form is tied to, it will load in my main data here, and you can see he's got stuff in here from previously. It'll load in here and put the date, the name, what the teacher was doing, and then overall observation notes. And you can make it as complicated as you want under your form, but it'll load it here so you'll have your main where you can see all your teachers like Rob, Sam, Tom, so on. But it also will load it individually into their own, and so it filters it. And then once it goes into here, then it'll, because we've done an import, it'll go to their own personal sheet. So why don't we go ahead and give you an example of how that works. So if I go to live, welcome back. This is part 2 of using Google Forms for walkthroughs for teachers. Had a little issue before I ended last time, and my problem was I couldn't add Tom. I wasn't seeing him even though I added him on the document. You need to go in and edit your form and add Tom, and obviously if you need to, you're going to change all these, and if you got 20 teachers, you're going to make 20 different individual things here so you can choose from. And so I've added Tom at the bottom. Now he's in there, and now I'm going to exit my editing form, and I'm going to go to the live form, and now I'm visiting Tom's class. I walk in, I select Tom, and I'm going to go in and say, okay, well, you know what? And what I want to make clear is that you can make the most diverse, most whatever you want to put on the form is what you can do. For instance, this one I made it very simple. The one I currently use probably has like 30 or 40 little check boxes, and then also observation, like a narrative piece to it. And so this is very simple. This is just for the sake of showing you how to do this. So I'm going to say teacher was sitting at the desk, not actively engaged in class. The class was flat and lacked energy. And I might say, okay, I saw students, let's just say students were unengaged and not working on their assignments. Something like that. And then all you would do is you would just click submit once you're done. And now what it's going to do is it's going to formulate and add to your main data form. So you can see here it goes to this Google spreadsheet. Has Tom sitting at their desk. It took those check boxes, throws them in this column. Sitting at their desk, not actively engaged in the class. Class was flat and lacked energy. Overall observation notes, this is that narrative piece to it. And students were unengaged and not working on their assignments. And then also it's going to funnel it into separate documents. And then from here, we obviously don't want to share this main document because then they could see everybody's feedback they're getting. You can see here Sam, Rob, and then Tom at the bottom. We don't want to do that, and so that's why we created this other document earlier. And now what should happen is this should pull from Tom's. If I refresh here, let's see, hopefully we'll get lucky and this will work. Welcome to part 3. I had a couple troubleshooting issues that I was dealing with before, and I'd like to go back to the point of where we copied the key from our main document over to our individuals document. And so backtracking here, I want you to take where it says key equal sign, we want to take everything up until the point of the number sign here. And I want to copy that and pull that into these parentheses, and I want to pull that into and just replace it with that. And then now, as you see here, let's just go back. We're at our main data. We've put Tom in there. Tom's data's in there, and then now Tom is also a little bit later. You've got you've got everybody's data here, and then also it filters it to the individual teacher, and from there it will, because we pulled this key and did it properly, and we put it in here and copied it in, it's pulling that data to the individual teacher's sheet that we share with them. They're the only ones that can see this. And so if Tom, the teacher, is there, he's able to see exactly what I put and get feedback, and also have it for that person's record. And so now what we want to do is share this with the individual teacher. And so you're going to write in and put the items here, and like I'm just going to pick a teacher. I'm going to share it to myself here, okay? And then I would just share it with that person, and then I would put view, because you don't want them to edit it, because they can go in and change all the words and whatever. You just want them to view, share, and save to myself. Send a copy to myself, and so there you go. Now what will happen is it'll pop up. They'll have a document that says Tom in their documents folder, in their My Docs, and then they'll be able to see exactly what type of feedback you've given them. So just to wrap it up real quick, if you go back, we have our main data form here, okay, and then you have your live form here. You go in and you select your teacher, do what you want there. Once you submit, it automatically populates here and also here, and then also goes directly to that teacher's file that you share with them. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, please email me, and I'll have a link on the beginning slide. Thank you, and hopefully this helps and allows you to have a little better system when you do conduct walkthroughs, and also have information for when you conduct an evaluation, a formal evaluation, whenever you do that. I currently have been using it for the last couple months, and it's just really nice and easy. The teachers know when I come in with my iPad to check their Google Docs account, and they see the feedback that I've given them. I hope it helps. Again, any questions, let me know. Thank you.